Hi all, welcome to Property 360 Degrees. So this is a demo video where we will be demonstrating the benefits of Property 360 Degree. It's a platform where we have simplified the rental property management for landlords and the property managers. All right, let's get started. We want to start looking at what are the use cases that Property 360 Degree can be used for. So the first one here is when you want to manage the rental units, that is residential or commercial. So there can be scattered rental properties that can be managed by the property managers or a landlord who may be having rental properties in different geographies within country or different countries to manage them at one place. This is where Property 360 Degree is very helpful. It can make your life easy. It has a lot of benefits. We'll cover the benefits soon. The other use case is there are rental communities. So there are compounds. There are gated communities where you need maybe as a government organization or an investor led um, um, properties that are being built and rented out. There could be affordable rental housing societies as well, or commercial rental buildings. So in all these scenarios, we also have a specific module within Property 360 Degree for managing the communities. So these are two broad areas which basically helps where Property 360 Degree can make life easy for managers, be it landlords or property managers managing their residential and commercial properties can definitely benefit a lot out of Property 360 Degree. All right, let's look at what are the benefits. All right, when we look at the benefits, Property 360 Degree is very efficient, offers very efficient way of managing the properties. Yeah. It helps streamline the management of rental properties, allowing landlords to easily track rental income, expense, and maintenance request in one centralized location. How exciting is it, right? Next, another benefit is it automates the process where landlords can automate many of the administrative tasks associated with property management, such as sending reminders for rent payment. It could be generating lease agreements online, handling tenant communication, managing various regular communications or reminders that need to go out to the tenants. These all things can be streamlined, can be automated. Yeah. What it also does is it improves the communication with various stakeholders as part of the rental management. It can be communication with the tenants, it can be communication with the vendors. As a property manager, if you're trying to manage the landlords as well, all the communication is centralized where you don't have to manually trigger communications. There are automated communications which go out where the communications can be simplified. So we will look into those things as part of the quick overview demo that we do today. So just to summarize the improved communication, what I can see here is it facilitates better communication between landlords and tenants, allowing tenants to easily report maintenance issues and landlords to quickly respond to those issues. Yeah, there's a lot more than that as well, which we already covered. Then moving on to financial management. This is very critical because there's always something which we are missing when we try to do it manually. Or even when we are trying to do it in an Excel spreadsheet or other kind of software, but Property 360 Degree can help landlords or property managers to manage their finances more efficiently by providing features like rent tracking, expense tracking, and automated rent collection where payments can be made online itself. So you don't have to worry about accounting the payments that are made online at all. There could also be scenarios like for commercial properties, if you need to generate the invoices, where you could have regulations like GST, which have to be considered while generating the invoices. So all those things are already available in Property 360 Degree. So the taxation can be specific to each country and they're all configurable. Yeah, so it can be configured specific to Nigeria, it can be configured specific to UAE or India, and the invoices are automatically generated month on month, and they are automatically sent to the respective required stakeholders. So if you need to send an invoice to a tenant, they are already there, and if you want to download a copy for yourself, it's already there. So that simplifies a lot of efforts which are put in by accountants or financial professionals at the end of the month or beginning of the month. Yeah. Then moving on to the next benefit, better data insights. With Property 360 Degree, landlords or property managers can gain valuable insights into their rental properties portfolio, such as you can get the occupancy rate, what is the rental income, what is the maintenance cost, which can help them make more informed decision about their portfolio or about the investments that owners could have made. Yeah. So overall, there are some great benefits of using a streamlined, automated, improved communication, financial management driven property management software, that is Property 360 Degree. So we strongly recommend you try it out. Reach out to us if you need any, if you have any questions, and we'll be glad to help you. So now, one last thing before we straight away jump into the tool. So Property 360 Degree comes with portal access for owners, tenants, vendors, and of course property managers. So within property manager, there are different access levels where property manager can add sub-users, and the sub-users can have access to specific modules. So there are altogether 6 modules. One is onboarding, then we have lead management, we have agreements, we have accounting, we have service management, and accounting at property manager level. So all these things are available for property managers and the sub-users, and sub-users can have limited access to the modules that we have. So property manager can have access to everything, and sub-users could have access to everything as assigned by the property manager or only to specific modules. Yeah. So it helps you to manage a scalable property management business spread out across different geographies with multiple teams spread out across different geographies. Yeah. And Property 360 Degree is also a solution which can be white labeled for specific brands. If you're a property management company and if you want to have your own brand, talking to your customers with your brand, it is possible. We have already done white labeling for customers, and you could leverage the flexibility that Property 360 Degree has, where you can have your own branding in place. Yeah. Now let's get into. All right, let's quickly have an overview of Property 360 Degrees. So what you're seeing currently is a dashboard which helps you to track your inventory, having different property statuses, properties. So first one, let's look at this one. So It summarizes how many properties you're managing. The properties can be either vacant, they could be on hold if they are undergoing some maintenance services. They may be published already, listed somewhere, then they could be rented out already, or some all the properties that are pending for renewals. Yeah, so even the properties on sale side, you can list the properties on sale and which are already sold. So so one thing that I would love to highlight here is Property 360 Degree can be integrated with the listing portals in different countries, and also it can be integrated with the websites of property management companies. So when you publish for properties on rent and sale, they could be straight away visible on your respective websites, branded websites. So that's how. So it comes with the white label solution. So any owners or tenants that property managers or owners manage, they would be able to see the branding of that property management company or the landlord if they are keen about their branding as well. Yeah. In the second section here, what we see is this is mainly useful for property managers. So if you're managing your own accounting rather than using any other software for your accounting, we have built an in-house in as an additional feature which helps you to track the income, property management income, and the expenses that you incur in managing the rental properties. So this is one thing where it is very efficient way of tracking the accounting, because the income for property management comes from properties, and properties are already in Property 360 Degree, and the transactions can be linked. Whatever is an expense as a property management fees from property perspective can or should become an income to property manager. So that's how all these transactions are interlinked, which is very easy to manage. So you don't need any other accounting software to manage your own property management, um, balance sheets or all those things. So you have everything in Property 360 Degree. Yeah. So on the top right hand corner here, what we see is contracts. As a property manager, you want to do contract with the owner who want to hand over their properties to you. You can potentially do your contracts straight away um, within the Property 360 Degree itself, where you can basically add the owner details, contract details, what is the property management fees, what are the terms and conditions. If there are any assets that are associated with the property, they will all come up here, and property manager and owner can basically sign this contract digitally. So again, as part of signing here, we have digital signature process involved here. So we can plug in any um, digital signature authentication that local country basically accepts. So from different countries, there are different things involved. From Indian perspective, there's something called Aadhaar, which can be used as a means to sign the agreement. So that has been integrated. From different countries, there will be different plugins that we would need. So it is possible to plug in those and execute the digital signatures of contracts. Yeah. Then on the upcoming contract here, what upcoming task, what you can, so this calendar is one central hub to manage all the tasks associated with the property management business, or even the team. So the inspection show up here, any task related to the properties comes up here. If there are any tasks independent of the properties, but where as a team you need to coordinate, you need to set up a task for someone to go and do something for a property. There are three sections that helps you to manage all your tasks at one place. Yeah, so this is quite handy where you can track everything that is coming up on a given date. It shows up here. Inspections, so we have move in, move out, open house inspections, property condition, that is routine, and site visits. So just to give you a quick summary, move in is something when property is being handed over to tenant, you want to make sure that you capture the details of the condition, so you can schedule that. And so the property manager, so the tenant knows when the inspection is happening, and you can go and take the photographs, take the details of the assets that are available in the property, and create a report within Property 360 Degree where tenant can log into their portal and agree with what the moving report says, whether it could be the condition, it could be the assets. They can see all the details and agree upon that. So similarly, while they are vacating the property, be it owner or property manager, you can schedule a move out inspection, and you can check all the details against the compare against the move-in report that you have created. So you can validate the assets, you can validate the condition, and then agree upon whether the condition is good or bad when the move is happening. Yeah. Open house, everyone is aware that it can be a walk-in to look at a rental property or a property on sale to go and have a look. Okay. Then property condition, during the tenancy, you can schedule numerous routine inspections, so you can set up those things. Site visits, so any vendor or property manager going to go and have any maintenance inspection to see what's wrong with any service being requested by the tenant. So you can schedule a site visit, or vendor can schedule a site visit as well. They will all come up here. Yeah. So estimate. So with regards to services, service tickets, vendor or property manager can submit the quotations, which may have to be approved by either owner or tenant. So it shows up how many of them are pending for the approval that you can chase up. Okay, so it becomes very easy to check what is holding up, and you can chase up those property managers for the respective owners or tenants for the approval. Yeah. Then we have service tickets. Yeah, so this is another very important thing as part of service management. So where you can track how many tickets are in open, which have been raised by the property owner or the tenant, and how many have been assigned to a vendor to get them sorted out. Then how many have been closed. So this gives good track of where are you standing with providing the property maintenance services. And notifications, so this would basically pop up all the notification at each and every phase, right from if you receive any rental application from the tenant, when you get any message from a tenant or owner, or when you get a quotation from a vendor, all those things will pop up here and you will be able to see all the notifications. Yep. So that's the overview of the dashboard, which basically covers slightly broader perspective of what the product can do. If I want to just quickly walk you through these tabs here, you can see all the properties being managed. They all will be listed here. You'll be able to search the specific property based on your location, and they will all come up here. And once you click any of the properties, you'll be able to navigate to a specific property and perform various operations related to um, that unit you have added. So you can perform various tasks here. Again, there are transactions, messaging that can happen with the owner tenant. Then any task that you want to set up with regards to property, it can be related to non-maintenance or maintenance. Then managing the accounting of the property, setting up the inspections, tracking all the service related to the property specific. So then creating the property condition report. So it can be move in, move out report or routine inspection. They can all be done here. Then we have rental history. So as you keep on using this product to manage the rental properties, you keep on building the rental history. Who was living 5 years back when you started managing, and what were the details? What was the move in, move out report then looking like? What was the inventory? So all those details you can have as a history that you can view. And any tenant submitting the rental applications, they will come in here, which property manager can or owner can go in and have a look and accept the application, or they can reject all the assets related to the property. So another interesting thing is property will have various assets, like it can be a furnished unit where you have the refrigerator, you have the air cons installed, where you have beds, sofas being, so you can track the history of all the assets that you owned and that have been added, that have been taken off. All that can be done at each property level. So then when we look at transactions here, so transactions basically helps you to get one view of entire summarized view of transactions happening across the portfolio with regards to specific property. So you can view all the transaction, you can view more. So there are multiple things here. As you see, there are transactions. You can set up a receivable. For example, you need to receive the rent payment from the owner. So for example, owner sorry, this is a tenant one where you can the invoice has been sent and the payment is yet to be received. So that is something which you have. Payables, where you need to pay the vendors or the property owners. That is something which you give here, which the product helps you to track all those things, where all the outstanding payables, there can be recurring payables that you can track here. So this helps to automate and streamline the process of payables. Certain properties have regular payments that you need to make out every quarter, every month. So if you set up those payables here, you will be able to reduce the manual glitches that happen with the payments that you need to make. Yeah. Then owner dues. So owner dues is where, for example, if you have done certain payments on behalf of the owner and owner is yet to pay you for that, what you can that is something which you can track as well. Okay, so you can mark that as yet to be received by owner, and once you receive by the owner, so it shows pending, and then you can also see any payments that owner has already done and you're tracking them. So this is one place. So see how how simple it is to manage all the accounting aspects at one place. Yeah. So you have the summarized transactions, you have the receivables, then you have the payables that need to go out, and any owner due that would be owner is still owing you. He needs to pay all multiple owners. So the complexity here is when you're managing hundreds of properties and you need to know who needs to pay what. That information is just accessible at the click of button for you, where you can just get to the transaction module and you can basically start tracking who needs to pay what. Yeah. Moving on to inspections. So there can be different inspections that we have discussed earlier. it can be move in, move out, it can be open house, it can be property condition. So any inspection you can select with regards to the specific property. You can set up the date, duration, and the comment. So if you select move in, if there's a tenant associated already, he would receive a notification. And if you have sub-users, if you want to set it on behalf of your sub-user so that he goes and makes sure the move-in is carried out, you can set up the sub-user, assign it to a sub-user who will basically receive a notification saying that this is the date and time, and this is the property I need to go and inspect. Yeah. So you have all those inspections here, and you can see the reports. So this one doesn't have. So there can be different reports. Yeah. So for move in, move out, there are different reports which you can generate. Then moving on to services. So services, maintenance services. So when we look at this one, a maintenance service request can be made by a can be requested by a tenant, owner, or even a property manager. Okay, this is just like a service ticket, which is being raised. Then it is we can see who is the tenant there. Has it been assigned to a vendor? Once it has been assigned to a vendor will be able to schedule a site visit. You'll be able to communicate with the owner, tenant, and the vendor. As a property manager, you can have that specific communication with owner, tenant, and the vendor so that everything is tracked at one place. Okay. Then when vendor schedules any site visit, you would get it here. When somebody, it can be a vendor or property manager, if they want to um, uh, capture the details of how the property is looking like when they go and have a look. It can be an initial inspection or during the progress of providing that service or after the service has been accomplished. Yeah, so that level of details you can capture as part of the reporting and create different set of report which you can compare the milestones of fulfilling a service. Yeah. Estimates. So estimates can be submitted by either property manager or the vendor. Yeah. So if there are vendors who are not able to get onto the platform and they just submit a quotation to a property manager or owner, if you are tracking it yourself, you'll be able to get on to the product and submit a quotation with the details saying how much it's going to cost. There can be n number of items for a quotation. It is again GST compatible where the taxation will be taken care. You can email the invoice, you can download the invoice, and if you mark it paid, it basically goes into expense of the property. So where the accounting is again, accounting module is linked to the service management here. So it makes it's a seamless way to manage your services, which is linked to your accounting, which has all the stakeholders involved. It may be property tenant, owner, or the vendor. You're all at one place so that you don't have to waste a lot of time getting onto calls trying to chase up. So it's all accessible with push notification or your mobile app, and it becomes very easy to see the details as and when you need, accessible 24/7. Yeah, so that is service management in a nutshell. Then contacts. Yeah, so if you're a property manager or owner, if you're managing properties, if you want to get onto any specific contact, everything is accessible at the tip of your finger. Yeah, if you want to send out any communication to your all the tenants, you can send a broadcast message. You can straight away call from here. You can see which property are they associated with. Okay, vendors, how many properties are they serving? What's their, if you want to straight away call them, it's all accessible here. So it's that simple. How about managing your team? So if you want to grow a big property management business, or if you're already a big property management, how do you manage your team? How do you coordinate? So you can add your team members and assign specific accessibility. So these are the different modules. So you can provide access to the different modules where they can go and onboard the properties. So we may have not covered onboarding, so we'll just quickly look at towards the end of this video. Then services, which we have already seen. Operations, so move in, move out reports. Agreements, the way we have shown you the contracts that you can do with the owner. You can do a rental agreement between property manager and the tenant, and owner and the tenant. So that is, you can give access to someone who can, as a team member, can specifically do those activities. Accounting, which we have already seen. Okay, so you can give access to these modules where a user can perform those tasks only associated to those modules. Yeah, so what it also makes is the sub-users will be able to access the properties and perform only the service, only the access that is given to them. So if you give access to someone only as an who is an accountant, who needs to only know the accounting, so you can just give him accounting. Okay, so he or she can only be focused on the accounting aspects. They don't have to get into who is doing the services, who is doing the agreement. They don't have to worry about it at all. Okay, so it helps them to be focused on what they should be doing. Yeah, so so user management becomes very simple, where you can add or take off the users. You can quickly add user by adding their name, email, and mobile number. That's all you need, and they will get a login credentials if you add them. Communities, yes, so this is another interesting module. What we see here is how many units do you have in this one. Okay, for example, if we go in here, a community is, we can take an example of a compound where there are 200 units. So where you'll have different amenities in place. You'll have to have the notices sent out to different blocks within the compound. You can add the different blocks. There can be block A, block B having certain units. There can be services related to the common areas. So we saw the services related to the property, while this service here is different. This is related to the common areas in that community. For example, there's a swimming pool, and swimming pool has some issue. You want to raise a ticket. So all the residents in this community will have access to this community management, and they will be able to raise a service ticket which can be assigned to a vendor or closed by addressing whatever it needs to. Yeah. Then most important and powerful functionality is accounting. So as part of the community, you'll have to collect a strata or collect different payments from owners or tenants, and there will be expenses related to the community. It can be lift maintenance, it can be painting, it can be various things. So you can track everything here, and you can tag along owners, tenants for these payments. So what it means is, this is not a standalone accounting module but this is a collaborative one where owners can see what they owe to the society, to the community. Tenants can see what they owe to the society and the community. So community management helps you to manage that large residential and commercial rental units, which we spoke about in the quick overview. Yeah. So managing leads. Yeah. So once you start, when you onboard the rental properties, you could potentially have two things there. All right. You could start getting the leads. Leads are basically potential tenants who may be showing interest to rent certain properties. Okay. how would you track them? So you can start adding the leads here and and set up what are the follow-up activities that you want to do with that lead. So there can be a call needed, there can be an email needed. You can set up that. Okay, so if you see here, you can capture details of your leads with regards to property that they have inquired. And the other aspect is a prospect. So for example, a landlord wants you to manage your property. Okay, then you can capture the details of the landlords as well and follow up what is their property details, what is their inquiry when, and are we assigning any specific user to follow up on this prospect and make sure we provide the required information and try to onboard them. Yeah, so there's a CRM capabilities involved, which is already available in Property 360 Degree, which will make it seamless. You don't have to go outside and buy any other product. You can manage everything here. Yeah, then there are various reports which we already have. Reports are basically which will give you the insights about your portfolio, your interested various property, reports related to various aspects, like it can be if you want to pull out a report specific to the specific expense type across the portfolio. So you can do that here. So you can choose any specific income or expense type. Then in you have a transaction summary report at a property level, which gives you a summary of entire last 12 months or 6 months. What's the inflow and outflow, and what are the liabilities? Yeah, so input versus output tax, you have inspection summary report, rental due, expiry. So we have quite handy reports already there, and we tend to bring a lot of other reports which would be needed. So I hope this was helpful in understanding what Property 360 Degree can do with a collaborative platform where property managers, owners, tenants, and vendors have access, and they get connected to the properties, and it becomes seamless to interact, transact, communicate. There are messaging capabilities at property level where property manager is able to communicate with the owner is able to communicate with the property manager, tenant can communicate. So you don't have to pick up a call, you don't have to email, because they are all or do a WhatsApp. They're all lost here and there, and you won't get a consolidated view of all the communications. So Property 360 Degree has all those capabilities. Yeah. One last thing that I want to show before we end this demo here is how you can onboard large number of rental properties. It could be residential or commercial. Here is a way. So you can download a template and fill in the required details as per the instructions below, or you can reach out to us. We can help you to populate this. This can be uploaded, which will help you to quickly onboard hundreds of properties which we already done. So this is 270 properties onboarded in less than 30 minutes. All right, so that's how easy it is to quickly onboard. And once you onboard, if you want to add one-on-one properties, as you start getting more leads, more properties onboarded, you can add properties. You can add for properties which are on rent, for sale, or which are already you already started managing. Yeah, so you can bring in all those properties, start tracking, manage it, integrate with your website, integrate with the listing portals, have the digital signature plugins that we can build for you, and you would be ready to scale your property management business, be it a property manager or a owner who want to manage a good, decent, or large rental portfolio with ease, where you don't have to work for it. A software works for you to make your life easy in managing the rental portfolio. That's the promise of Property 360 Degree. Hope you found it useful, and this is not all it is. This gives you a broader overview of the product. There is a lot in here if you are keen about to understand more and how we can help, how Property 360 Degree can help you. Don't hesitate to contact us. Please jump onto our website, www.property360degree.com, and we are accessible, so you can just request for a demo and we are click away. Yeah, thank you.